It seemed to be over, in more ways than one, on more fronts than one. The pilots were all standing round the machines as the mechanics and putzers fussed about, preparing this and that, all in the service of war. Whose war? They all wondered at this point. News had come in from other squadrons. Up and down the line, entire sections of the Russian army were negotiating separate ceasefires, or simply leaving their lines altogether and heading for home. A general call for gradual disbanding of the army had arrived from the new Bolshevik government and was already well-travelled news in the Austrian camp. It seemed that they'd done it. Negotiation would start up soon, and by another month, perhaps, the war in the East would finally be over. They clambered into the machines. Fuel regulator, magneto switch, alles klar. Faces of lost comrades flashed briefly through Vikram's mind as the engine span up. He remembered the panic-stricken, toy-like figure of a Russian pilot struggling out of his harness as the plane caught fire under Vikram's guns. The long fall preferable to burning. And as the Russian fell in his memory, Vikram raised up. Up, as usual, as always. Carry on. And the war carried on. Hello, ladies, gentlemen all, and welcome to another episode of this Austro-Hungarian Rise of Flight career. Righto, it's been a while, hasn't it? I can't quite recall the exact number, but I think it's something in the vicinity of 200 days. 200 days since last we spoke, which is rather embarrassing. Many things have happened since then, of course, and you just have to take my word for it that although I've missed you all greatly, it's been somewhat out of my hands. But here we are again, and so is Vikram. And let me just double check. Should be heading sort of northwest, so let me correct the course a little bit. By northwest. Now you might be wondering what is going on in the war and why are we still flying patrols if the Russians are so close to giving up? Well, as previously discussed, they haven't quite given up yet. No armistice is signed, and as such it's our duty to go up and patrol the lines. Secondly, Pat Wilson's campaign generator, for all its many, many qualities, and that's not a term I use lightly, don't really have the ability to simulate something like decreased activity at the front because of, soldiers giving up on the ground or whatnot. So we may still encounter some Russian resistance. When I started this campaign, I chose Austro-Hungary and the Galician campaign because I really didn't think, I'd live past 3 or 4 missions. You generally don't in these careers, but it's been going on for years now. Literal years and figurative years. And whether I've been extremely lucky or learned a thing or two, or simply both, which is probably the most likely, it's not what I expected. Didn't think I'd still be here. I'm a bit unsure about where to go to next. Speaking of which, I think it's time to make a short skip. I've talked far too much already, but, well, it's been a while. I'll make sure that we stay on course here, and I'll see you once we make our next waypoint. Toodaloo. We've now covered about 60% of the patrol route. I think we should be in the vicinity of here somewhere. So we are over enemy lines at the moment. I think I spotted a balloon just now. I can't quite reacquire it. My computer is placed in front of a window, and every now and then a bird flies by out of the corner of my eye, and I jump, thinking it's an enemy plane. This should be Galincha, down on our left there. No, it's not, of course. We're too far west, too far east. This should be Zavalov, the railway bridge there. Which means that we're almost at our waypoint. Well, it seems that the Russians are making a show today, which seems reasonable, all things considered. Well, also seems oddly fitting that the first episode back after such a long hiatus would be uneventful, as it were. But perhaps we shouldn't celebrate too soon. As I start this turn to the southwest again, perhaps this is a good time to pose a question to you lot, you wonderful people who have been with me and with Vikram for so many years. Fact of the matter is that once the ceasefire is signed, well, I sort of plan on letting Vikram retire. Think for one that he could pretty easily secure such a home leave, and secondly, well, he's earned it, in my opinion. IL-2 has recently added some new cloud technology, but honestly there's a part of me that just like these clouds more. The IL-2 clouds tend to be so, I don't know, insubstantial. There's very little sense of volume to them. And flying around clouds like this, It's just a different feeling in Rise of Flight. I find it much more enjoyable, even though in many aspects they're technologically inferior. But this, look at this, the sense of them being these physical landscapes that you can... I'm getting lost, yeah. Losing my track of mind. So, what I was getting at is... Vikram's career, whether I live or die, is about to be over. The Eastern Front is about to close. The war against Russia is about to end. And that raises the question, because I'm far from done with flight simulators, where would you like me to go next? What would you like me to do in the future? Would you like me to start up another Rise of Flight career? Go to the Western Front perhaps, as the Allies or the Germans? Maybe even the Russians, although honestly I'd rather not. I've been on the Eastern Front for a while now. Or would you like me to do something else entirely? IL-2 has a career mode in Pat Wilson's campaign jet rudder as well. I could start up a career in flying Messerschmitt 262s or A-20 bombers or some such. It would be a rather substantial change from this kite and canvas kite. Or I could try out Flying Circus, which I believe also supports Pat Wilson's campaign generator now. Let's double check this thing. We're heading southeast where we should be heading southwest. Let me correct for that. Or in the future, would you be interested in doing something like... I'll probably make a video at least of the new Microsoft Flight Simulator, although I'll be honest, traffic flight sim isn't really my thing. DCS is also an option, of course. I'm not very good at DCS, but if there's a vegan or something, could certainly be persuaded. Well, all cards are on the table. Let me know below. Like, comment and subscribe, why don't you? Oh, bloody hell, what on earth? See, that's what I get for saying like, comment and subscribe. What have we here? We've been jumped by... That is not a German aircraft. Down. Check the 6. That's the German crate. Come on, you bastard. You managed to jump us, but you lost your advantage very quickly. Oh, bloody hell. That was a very close one. I almost collided with him. I hit his aileron and he juked left hard. I was very worried about my friends here. Oh, there's another one. You know what? Let's break targets. Never get target fixated in a dogfight. Especially if you have AI friends who might at any time jockey in for position and hit you over the head. That's one of ours. Right, it's useless to take shots at this distance. Not because it's possible to hit, but because I am fairly confident in my ability to get a better shot on this bastard. is not doing well. It's not fighting half bad. Nor are my allies. Well, that worries me, of course. Speaking of target fixated, I'll let them go in for this guy in first. If they break off, I'll come in. If not, well... Ugh. Would you mind? Well, I think that engine is... He's still fighting there. Running for home. 3 Germans on his 6. Or rather 3 Hungarians. I'm worried about that altitude advantage he has over me. Because he's no doubt going to shoot in front of me in any second. But decent shots. And down he goes. As always, I am much more worried about my allies in these situations. I was legitimately worried there for a while. If he would come in like an arrow from above and strike my empennage. But we seem to have recovered. And I don't think we lost anyone. No. Good job, chaps. Well, let's turn for home now. Did we get very far southwest? No, that looks good. We actually managed to maintain our orientation. And we have about 600 rounds left out of 1,000. Excellent conduct, gentlemen, aside from the near incidents of friendly fire and collision. And I think we shot down two airplanes. Although I think we could probably claim together 2 kills and 1 probable. Well then, that's all the excitement I can handle. Let's make for home. I'm starting to think that perhaps we are too far to the east. I should be able to see those... Oh, see those lakes over there? That's where we're supposed to be, so... Clearly we're... Wait, hang on. Contacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes spotted below us. What on earth? Are we near an airfield or something? It's 3 on 6, lads, but we have the altitude advantage. And We have ammunition to spare. Let's go and see what they are. Can't quite make them out yet. But there's a lot of them. I'm gonna close the radiators a little bit. Turned. They must be bombers. If they're FE2Bs, perhaps. If they're anything heavier, I'm not sure I want to engage 6 bombers in tight formation. But alas. The Kaiser commands. Are you? Come on, gentlemen. Turning back towards their airfield, I believe. They've done a complete 180 since last we saw them. Look like FE2Bs, yeah. Full formation. No sign of a fighter escort, but who knows. Alright. We'll go in on the one to the far back here. And they're heading west, which is good. At this point, I think I would permit myself a few pot shots from further away. Oh, this is great. Gunner is live. He's shot up pretty bad. There's another one below there. But my friends are also engaging. Yep, he's down. This isn't great. I'm now in the middle of the formation. My friends aren't helping, really. My only advantage here is that they can't shoot down. At least not very well. Up, get out, get down, get down. What on earth are my friends?
Attack them, damn you! Gunner is dead, I think. And that's the engine down. I do apologize for sort of haphazard camera work there. I have a new desk and a new flight setup, and it's giving me some issues in certain angles. Well, we have one loner here towards the back. But we've lost a lot of altitude, so perhaps that one further below is better. Are my friends attacking? No? Wait, hang on. Those don't look like Albatross. I just want to make sure here that I'm not being sidelined by... Oh, good. There we go. Still heading west. Good. This is actually turning into something of an interesting mission, because these planes heading directly west from here, loaded with bombs, means that they are actually heading directly for our squadron HQ. Our home airfield is directly to the west. Hang on. Why am I smoking so much? Get down. I thought perhaps the gunner was dead, but I was very wrong. And this shell... What on earth are you shooting at there? The friends! My buddies are arriving. Thank heavens. I was confused as to what he was aiming for. Nicely done, lads. Done for. Unfortunately, you seem to be having some engine problems of your own. And we are now in the gunner's sight. Well, I will say this much, we've been fairly lucky so far with those gunners. I've been very fortunate. Almost out of ammunition. But they're still heading for our base. That one's going down. And we took a bullet. And I will break off him now. See if we can get their attention. I'm out of ammunition and I'll have to return. Let's see, heading west, as we have been doing for some time now. Getting some fluctuations in the engine. I think I'll drop throttle just a little bit and try to figure out where I am in the grand scheme of things. We have that river there. Well, with our ammunition spent, a few birds downed, I've honestly lost count of what we did there. And the plane on the way back, I think this is a good time to make a short time skip as we head for home. I'll be back as soon as we reach the confines of our own airspace, or, well, something interesting happens. See you in a little bit. This is your captain speaking. We are just now arriving at the Twin Lakes, which means we should be looking out on our right side for signs of our aerodrome. Well, you may scratch what I said before about an uneventful sortie being the most fitting one. I think starting it off with a little bit of action never hurts. I just hope that we can get another sortie into the air before those FE-2Bs arrive. Should be fairly easy to scramble considering how badly they were all shot up and how slow those planes are. Trust me, I know. I've flown them in multiplayer. And there's our aerodrome. And with that, I will start reducing power. So go into a little dive. Close the rads a little bit. And start losing altitude. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this return to Vikram's life and glory. That I haven't talked your ear off too much. There's some getting back into the groove involved, I think. As I said before, I'm awfully sorry it's taken me this long to record something again, but honestly, I can't make apologies. It's just the way things have been. I've done what I could. Of course, as always, I hope that I can keep the upload frequency improving at least. But I also hope that streaming every now and then might whet your appetite, even though it isn't a full-blown career mission. Let's use throttle again. If I recall, we had a rather serious headwind. So I may actually forego the usual approach across that line of trees there and try to line up a little bit further with the rightmost hanger here. That should help with the crosswind. Rads for that extra bit of drag as we come in. Stay at about 1,000 RPM. Start leveling off. I can still feel there's a bit of a headwind coming in from the right here, but I think we should be alright. Keep in mind, ladies and gents, I haven't actually landed one of these in 200 days. My lord, if I wait another 200 days, the war will be over. We are coming in way too fast. That is not a very good. Landing, but, well, they can't all be 5-pointers. And there you have it, folks. The first Rise of Flight career mission of 2020. More than 100 years now since the war ended. And more than 200 days since last we spoke. Let's see how long it's been next time, shall we? Toodaloo.